What's up and good morning, everybody. Shout out to all my GJ traders that's been holding it down, that's been, giving GJ the works. This week we're going, do our analysis, take a look at GJ, see what they got going on. And hopefully try to figure out what it's going to do next. It's definitely been in a bit of a range. So I would love to take a look at that. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we were looking at for last week. See how that played out, and then we'll go ahead and get right into what I'm looking at to happen this week. So GJ began his pullback last week, finding resistance at 161 and holding support at 159.30. I'm looking for a pullback on our higher time frames to go a little bit deeper in order to retest our double bottom neckline, potentially to 156.7, 155, which is these levels around here and where price is at now. Before we do so, I'll be looking for a clean reversal on our lower time frames, price pushing to 157 level to create a potential double bottom in order to come down. On the other side of things, the pullback that price started last week could just be a price creating a higher low to gain some momentum, in which case we'll be looking for new highs to be created. All right, so just looking at this on our weekly time frame. First things first, we'll just break it all the way down. So starting on our monthly, we can see this double bottom here, boom, boom. We saw last week or the week before, the month before last, last month, price broke this high over here, right? So, and then we saw this doji as price ran into this weekly level here. As this price broke, I would like to see it come back down at some point and retest. Okay, so looking at our weekly, it looks like that retest could be potentially happening soon. What I do want to do is just measure how far is this breakout. So about 700 pips. I feel like that would be reasonable for a price to begin retesting. But looking at our weekly time frame, we can see last week left a doji candle. Okay, and then this past week, right? This past week opened bullish, which actually is kind of interesting to me, right? So this doji candle began to fill a little bit, right? Looks like price could be potentially looking to continue moving to the upside. Although keeping in mind we never broke this high over here, right? Price never pushed up and completely filled this wick. And this is a pretty strong rejection, but keeping in mind, this was priced right at this zone, right? So price could just be looking to find some momentum to go ahead and continue pushing through that zone. Dropping down into our daily time frame, right? So this is where I'm, really kind of starting to analyze what market is actually doing. Looking at last week, we could see if this was Friday, right? This red candle was Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Sunday, right? So here was Monday's candle, right? So we can see on a week, price was dojiing for the most part, right? There wasn't too much movement on price as it was moving up. For the week, from low to high, market only went 200 pips in a week. So really not too much movement, but overall it did continue this bullish movement. Now, what I see this as is price attempting to fill these candles right to the left of it. Okay, but keeping in the back of my mind, look how many buying candles it took. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullish candles to cover these 3, really 2 bearish candles. Okay, which tells me that buyer momentum is slow. Why do I think it's slow? Because again, this weekly zone that we have here that price ran into. Now, as I was saying before, I am looking for some sort of retest to happen on GJ. So I'm curious to see what price does from here, right? If price is going to continue and break through this high, right? So this will be our last high that I'm looking at, right? So this yellow line, if price breaks this high, I will say, okay, price is, I would say, all right, price made a higher low, and now we're going to break to make a new high. If this high doesn't break, what I'm looking at is a double top, right? So we already have price trending up. We saw this break of structure, and then we see price returning to this level. If price is not able to, you know, if price is not able to break through this higher level, I'm looking for price to come down, honestly, um, into this retest level here, right, which is this white box, right, our neckline. So let's drop a little bit and see what that's looking like. So on Friday, right, Thursday, Friday, we could see that price was ranging for the most part, consolidating, we can call this. But what I can see inside of here is what appears to me as a bit of a double top as well. But just because these candles are so close, I don't want to, call this a double top or um, call out any patterns. I'm just going to consider this as a range, right? Or market consolidating, because these candles are so close. They're not really moving too much, not really giving us too much movement. But again, we do have this first rejection over here, and then we can see once price return to this level here, we see it attempting to reject again. I'm gonna get rid of this line, and then I'll just keep that here, right? So what I'm gonna be looking for before anything moving into this week, I definitely want to see a breakout of this, uh, out of this consolidation zone. um, it's important to, I think it's important to let this play out, right? To allow this price to break and do what it wants to do, right? Again, something I'm stressing it because this is important. This zone that's here, right? We have a weekly supply zone that has pushed into. So honestly, I'm looking for price to break lower, retest, and then come down to find some sort of support. I have zones coming down. I have one at 150, around 159 level, as well as 156, 500 level. Okay. And then if we break here, if we break 159, like I said before, I'm looking for price to come into 156, 7 levels. So this is kind of what I'm looking at, right? We could also see this potential breakout to the upside, retest, and then continue moving up. But that's all going to depend on this current consolidation area that market is in currently. I'm not sure any news coming out this week. Last week was NFP, which also could definitely uh, contribute to that consolidating market. Doesn't look like there was too much. FOMC was last week as well. Okay, cool. So heading into this week, I'm curious to see if we have any news or anything that could potentially be pushing our market. JPY has an orange folder on Monday. Governor speaks. USD with some red folders on Tuesday in the morning, so keeping that in mind. When I'm looking at this, I normally look at GBP, USD, and JPY. USD does affect JPY, or GJ. USD does affect GJ. So I definitely take a look or keep in mind when there is USD news as well. On Wednesday, we got a red folder at 2 a.m. So this is actually when I trade, so London session. So I will be keeping that in mind as well. We got some heavy folders on Wednesday. We got some heavy folders coming on Wednesday, Thursday as well, and then Friday holiday. All right, so looking at this week, we want to keep in mind that news that's supposed to be coming out. the good thing about news is it helps market to move, right? It helps market gain that momentum to really push it along. So I personally haven't looked too much into um, fun technicals, into the technicals of things. But if you do know about the technicals, definitely, that news and um, or is that I believe that's the fundamentals. One or the other, whatever one that the news falls into play, or the economy and what's happening in that actual country, those things are important and do play a role in charts and how the market moves. So definitely some things that I'm keeping in my head to really start to pay attention to, as they do help the market move. So that's what I'm looking at this week on GJ. I hope this video was helpful. If y'all haven't yet, make sure y'all go ahead and join the Discord channel. Um, we trying to do it this year. Doing my best to stay consistent with these videos on here. Keep y'all updated with my analysis. This is something that I do every week. If y'all would like to see the written out version, again, go ahead and click the link below and join the Discord channel. Follow us on Instagram. I post all my profits and updates and things like that. Profits, losses, good days, bad days. I post it all in there. So make sure y'all go ahead and give that a look as well. And I will catch y'all in the channel, or on our next video. Love.